Alright, we are here with Killian, Ink Duelist, in the Artisan Brawl thing. There's only 3 hours left of it, so by the time you see this, you can't play it. But I still want to play it, so. It's basically Voltron, go tall, you just enchant this, you buff it with instance to like protect it, with protection, indestructible, 1/1 counters, vigilance, flying, trample. It's just, you know, stacking a bunch of auras on a creature. It's really nice that you can use all the really expensive ones, right? Like I can just put this on there. Oh, that's more of a removal spell, but I can put this on there for 2 mana. That's actually really nice. You could argue that Killian is a 3 mana card because you always want a protection spell when you go to cast it, but not always. Not a lot of ways to draw a bunch of cards, and not a lot of ways to confidently tutor a bunch of cards. You have Final Parting. There's another 5 mana one, but I think I'm not really interested in it. I'd rather just not do that and run something else. And there's Pilgrim, which finds any aura of your choice. There's a bunch of removal spells in here, and really the only major issue I see here is probably Finn. I've only played against Finn a single time across all 3 days, so maybe I just won't see it. But if I do, I think Finn is a problem. I do have a bunch of removal, and protection spells do a decent job at indestructible, preventing it from dying from death touch, because all their creatures have death touch. So, you know, it's just basically all of their creatures also sometimes play as removal spells, which just makes it a bit difficult. But that's just one matchup that I might not ever see. You can play a lot of cards that you would normally play in normal Brawl. So, like, a lot of this deck is just at common and uncommon. And you're not missing out on anything substantial with your rares and mythics. Obviously, there are really good auras and stuff, but you can effectively have the same kind of thing at common and uncommon. Especially the 2 big ones, Ethereal Armor, and there's another one that I will never remember the name of. All That Glitters. It's basically in every single aura deck already, and these are just really, really good, so hopefully I find them a lot. Other than that, yeah, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's cyberbully some people with these final 3 hours. Alright, we're playing against... That's Japanese, right? Or is that Korean? I don't know. No black mana, so can't really keep this. If you don't have black mana, you just can't cast your commander. Alright, no white mana, can't keep this. Okay, you can keep this. Let's get rid of you. Now, this is slightly better than that one, right? Sure. What does this do? Non-humans enter with a 1/1 counter. You got it. Probably going to wait to play my commander, although I can maybe do it on turn 2. I'm not really falling behind, given this hand, if I wait, in my opinion, but maybe I am. Alright. There you go. First spell we've ever played against is a literal park to removal spell. Alright, I have literally no respect for anything. Literally no respect. Slime against humanity. Alright, this could be tough. I like that. Let us do this here, and then kill the frog. And this has Menace and Lifelink, so they can't really block it. But they will be able to block it going forward. They should probably play their commander before they play the slime, shouldn't they? So that was an interesting decision, in my opinion, for them to just not cast the slime. Alright, they have Death Touch on their own turn. Alright, not nearly as big of a deal. Do I expect them to double block? And if so, do I care? Not really. Because I have a removal spell, this doesn't really pan out in my opponent's favor. But Killian is a little bit on the small side. It's cool. I wonder how many slimes are running. Well, probably a whole bunch. I'm just going to kill that so this slime enters as a 3/3 instead of a 4/4. Cling to Dust. Alright, not terribly useful, but might as well eat one of these, I guess. Edict. Alright, that was a really good Edict, too, because I can kill a different slime later. But we would really like another enchantment. We would really like another aura or something. So a lot of lands here. Green. +2/+4. Not the most exciting one, but you know what? It's one nonetheless. Let's take a slime out of hand. Yup. That 1/4 is pretty good, though. It's just not currently good. The fight effects with Death Touch are annoying, but, I mean, my opponent's getting pretty close to just straight up dying. But I am technically out of gas. Of all the things to draw. This is 8, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Does this matter? 2 counters here? Does it matter now? Should I wait? It's a 2-turn clock regardless, and they're going to block anyways. So I guess I'll just swing. It's probably better to cast a Chainer's Edict anyways. Okay, my opponent just said nah. Okay, I guess I'll just do this then. Alright. Another slime would have been a 5/5? Wait, no, it would have been a 4/4. And then with these counters, they can't kill it with 2 4/4s and a 1/4, so 9 points of power. This would be at 10. They actually couldn't kill it with another slime. I assume my opponent drew like a land and scooped, but yeah, that's kind of cool. I like the Ooze deck. Yeah, oh, alright, look at that. Easy. Not much to say. Did the thing. With slightly too few auras, but got there anyways. That was actually pretty good for just having a single aura, to be honest with you. It was just, what was it, a 3/3 the whole time? Man, that sun glare is like crazy intense. How do I like... I don't know, I'll work with it. I'll work with it later. It's just that time of year. Okay, well, if Emoti was ever beatable, it's probably with Killian. I don't really... I mean, again, a lot of their big stuff isn't just, like, one-shotting you when you have a big life linker. This has to be at Plains. Like, I can just make a flying Vigilance, lifelink, Menace, 3/3. And it's probably hard for them to do anything about it. I should probably kill this, but I also just like don't feel like doing that. So let's play you here and swingies. Like, this seems decent. I would love to untap. There's not much that blue and green can even do against Killian anyways. There's like naturalized effects, kind of, but like not really. Yeah, this is what I kind of wanted to avoid, but again, Emoti isn't itself doing anything. I'm more interested in just preventing Killian from imminent demise. Again, kind of light on the R's here. A little annoying. Up the beanstalk. Well, opponent has the literal best card in their deck. Once again, every time I'm playing against Emoti, it seems to be the recurring issue here. Because why wouldn't it be? What is with the non-auras? Please! My deck is just not giving me auras. If I swing, my opponent just blocks it, so I guess I just don't swing. What is with the... I mean, these are great, but, like, I need more than one aura to, like, win the game. Which the game appears to just have zero interest in giving me. Okay, they did sack their flyer, so I can swing again. They sacked the land with the haven on it, which I don't know why. Maybe they didn't understand? Yeah, that didn't make any sense. Feed the Swarm. This has Ward 2. It currently does not matter. Channel. It's literally just a 6/5 with no text. So I guess I am just swinging. And then probably seek out my end step with this. Unless something bad happens to me. Alright, suddenly we have another perfect reach creature. Of course. Alright, surely I'll get an aura off of this. Duress is probably not amazing. Okay, I also just didn't hit anything at all anyways. I can remove that, kill that. I guess this isn't all that bad. Treasure Cruise. Wow. A big thing that doesn't matter, and another big thing that isn't as important. So let's kill Ent, because it has reach. And then we kill the Ornithopter, so they can't block again. And then we swing. And nothing in hand has reach. So, this is probably the best we can do. But, I mean, I need a second. I just need Killian to be larger, and I'm literally not finding anything, so. Well, eventually they'll run out of things to draw off of Up the Beanstalk, I'm sure. Of course I draw land. Why wouldn't I? Nope. Just finding more big stuff, you know. Eventually, my opponent will have a turn where they don't have a large creature to draw infinite cards with. Why does Risen Reef just replace itself once, doesn't it? That's weird. I guess I block one of them and then just get rid of one of my things here, just for the sake of it. Like, I guess this is sort of free, right? Because it's not doing anything else anyways. Yep, got nothing to do. Aura, please. Alright, it's a decent enough aura. I can actually put it on the Alcayed instead. Right? And that's just 2 more damage instead of just 1 more damage. And it's like a 2-turn clock if everything goes right. But everything has to go right here. Okay, I'm at 18. I have 2 blocks. 21 from the lifelink. Does this do anything special? Nope. Oh, shoot. I don't want the boulder to kill anything. That's useless. So now, if they can't stop it, they actually can't swing with the turtle. Okay, doesn't affect anything. Doesn't affect anything. They swing anyways. Okay, so we block here and here. And then we do this. I don't know if this is enough. We go to 1. We won. I can't believe that. That's awesome. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. We won at 1 life. I think my opponent could have survived if they didn't swing with this. Because then I can't swing with the Al Sayed. But for some reason, I think they had it in their head that they couldn't block this. Which is a fair assessment because they were never able to block this. So I guess that was their mindset. But yeah, look at that. We actually beat Emoti, who saw half its deck with a 3/3 flying. We only drew like 1 aura this whole game until the end. That's wow. Okay. Jeez. I mean, if I found any aura, any point, if I found another one, we would have been even better off too. Right? It would have just been even larger. Crazy, crazy. Well, that was crazy. Alright, literally no auras. I would like at least 1. This is just +1/+1. This is against Finn. Okay, so 2 removal spells is fine. They don't necessarily have removal of their own that much. There's some, obviously. What is this? Sacrifice this draw, or target creature you control gets +3/+3 and trample. Okay. Don't really have anything special to do. I guess this and untap land, leave up. Go for the throw. Oh wait, I can do this. What am I talking about? I forgot. Alright, well, we're just in a massive position now. Just in a really good position. Especially Menace, just nice. Hard for them to just single block. Sure? Draw last. You got it. Okay. I see no reason to fight as 1. I'll probably have to use this to protect my commander. So it's just like, I'm not pushing any damage here. But, I don't know, we can seek a land or something here. Eventually. Okay. This is not a human, so fight as 1 is beneficial for this. But I think it is way more important that I just do everything I can to seek a non-land here with my whatchamacallit. Alright, not really that exciting. So land, let's look at your hand. I'm so confused. I am so confused. Okay, let's just take out that, I guess. And play nothing? Or do I just play this? I'm just going to play this. And let my opponent put 2 poison counters on me. They have no death touch creatures in their hand, so I'm a little confused. Is this an instant? It is. Bite down is an instant. +1/+1 for each forest you control. Okay. Put a counter on a creature and then it fights. Okay. I actually gained 3 life off that. It doesn't matter though. They cannot attack now because the toughness is too low. That was not a great card to hit. If I kill this, I push an additional 2 damage. Feels really bad. So I guess I'm just swinging. And passing. What did my opponent blow up this game? Twisted Embrace. Blanchwood Armor. For each forest you control, sure. Alright, so I did end up getting my blowout. And another removal spell. Okay. Yep, we just bullied our opponent. We just really bullied the crap out of them. I mean, their deck was weird. It wasn't like a normal Finn thing, but I mean, also maybe it just was, right? You only have 25 Death Touch creatures to choose from. That leaves you with another 70 cards to, you know, not be Death Touchers. But the fight stuff obviously made sense. But yeah, this is what I was saying. Removal and protection spells do kind of shut down a bunch of Death Touchers, and this has Menace, so it is hard to stop me from attacking, right? And then green removal is really, really susceptible to blowouts, because I can just kill the creature you targeted, and then I 2-for-1 you, so... Nice. Look at that. I'm just out here beating up all the things that I was concerned about. Out here just cyberbullying these, the mainline stuff. With what is essentially very few auras. I've had like one instance where I had 2 things on my Killian. It's always just been like kind of one card. I'll have to take a second gander to see how many auras there actually are to play. Okay, this one can find the best aura in my deck. Combat, each aura attached to this get a 3/1 with haste. Alright, so they're like equipment themselves. Alright, this is kind of sketchy. This is cool, though. I've never seen Valdic. And it's, I mean, it's mono red, but it is what it is. This might be a game where I am forced to wait. Bag of Holding? Oh, I almost want to run that myself. This might be a game where it makes a ton of sense to just not cast my commander. I feel like that's just where I really, really, really want to be right now, so... How much mana does this cost to activate, too? Okay, that's all they did, was just Bag of Holding. Really? Wow, that's a slow start. Oh, I mean, for mono red, obviously. Me, it's not. What do they put under here? Enters, deal 4 to something? Alright, well, they were willing to just not cast that on their turn, for whatever reason. A ton of toughness will be really good here. So if I get like a large toughness aura, we're sitting kind of pretty. Sort of. Though, given the sequence, maybe I want to find something that I can cast immediately, which would be a 1 or 2 mana aura. Or up to 3, I guess, actually, right, yeah. So let's see what we... Wait. Let's play this so I can leave up the both colors here. So up to 3 mana, if I am to cast it immediately. This is 4 mana. I would love Siegecraft right now, though. Not gonna lie. This is for each enchantment. I don't have any. Yeah, I don't have any good targets, which is just really, really bad. So I guess I take something. I'm gonna take Siegecraft. I'm just gonna take it, and you can't stop me. Taking Siegecraft. Just nothing to do this turn is all. Cast it next turn. If Killian dies, I can recast it. I do have 4 lands. Twinferno, cast next spell, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I assume this is some kind of burn spell? In the face of my protection spell that I don't have. Twinfernoing Shock is fine to me. I assume they killed a Pilgrim, which didn't matter anyways. Okay, this doesn't make sense. You don't want to target it twice. If I had a protection spell, you would have just... the second one doesn't do anything. That just doesn't work. Okay, research jet desk. Alright. I mean, I don't want my stuff to die again, but there's not much I can do about it. I do have a second creature because they didn't shock it, so I can actually siegecraft it. And all of what my opponent's doing has nothing to do with them actually killing me, so this is probably just kind of fine. Of course, more perfect removal. Why not? Is this a human? It is. Bonds does work. What does this do? Whenever a creature loans Death Touch, Lifelink, Dread counter. Think at this point I'm leaving up removal and I'm not swinging, so fine. Impact Tremors. Alright, I don't expect that to do too much this game. That's actually really good draw as well. Okay. Maybe I do just put Bonds here. It is a human. It gets +2/+2. So, just start pushing damage with something that has a lot of toughness. Also, if it dies, I draw because I have an aura on it, which is nice. I don't think I need more life for the Eidolon, really. But maybe my next turn I'll just siegecraft it. Opponent finds a, what? Land. You got it. 2 lands. Bag of Holding. Oh, I love it. I love Bag of Holding so much. Makes me happy. Let's see what that last card is, or do I just send the Siegecraft? This is tough. I could just put this here. Oh, excuse me, that's not what I thought it was. That's not what I thought it was. I thought, for some reason, I thought this was an aura. Alright, this works out anyways, but yeah, the 3 attacks with this, right? Is there 2? 3, it turns into a land. And then I can start drawing off it. Well, they have no equipment, they have no auras still. And if they ever do, I have Feed the Swarm and kill it again. Whenever opponent's creature dies, I guess I put it here, and then I kill their commander again. And I would like to trigger this, so I'll just swing with 1 less damage. Okay, yeah, just this. Oh, it's yeah, that's right. That's how that works. But yeah, that Shock Twin Flame turn was a little strange. They could have maybe even baited out a spell if I tried to target Killian in response, right, with the shock, because it is instant, but they didn't. I like the card draw engine, but as you can see, my opponent didn't even give themselves the option to even, like, try to cast these. Like, this isn't irrelevant. It still does something. This one, not really amazing. Just not many equipment, I guess. Not many equipment they had going on. And no auras at all of which to speak of either, so... Cool list, though. That's a cool commander. Alright, I removed the discard spells because I'd rather just kind of go more in on auras, and it felt a little light on them, so I just added some more splashy auras to just put on this faster, so let's try that. Not that it's mattered, but... Protection spell... and some stuff with things. Versus Vraska, which makes Death Touchers and probably a lot of removal, but there's not much I can do about that. This might be very difficult. More Death Touch. Excelente. Then you may return a land. Okay, let's kill the Death Toucher. So I don't have to deal with that nonsense. Killian pass. This also makes a Death Toucher. Not the end of the world, though. I guess I target there. Oh, hey, Batterskull. Not Batterskull, Bone Splitter. Yeah, let's see. This is first strike now, right? So I can just swing like this. They have to double block to keep Braska around. They might as well, because it gets another 1-1. No, they just let it die. Okay. Interesting. Play this. Oh, they sent their commander to the graveyard. Is there a way to reanimate planeswalkers that I'm not aware of in black-green? You can pick it up with spells, but you just exhausted a card to do that, so I don't know what's going on. Did they misclick? Maybe they just felt like their commander's completely useless? I don't know what's going on. My opponent binned their commander. May 3, then 1 creature in 1 land. That does not recur your commander. Also, they didn't mill a land, so they're SOL on the land there, but they can get a creature. They got the Death Toucher, makes sense to me. Recast said Death Toucher, makes sense to me. But again, we have first strike, so we're sitting real pretty. I'm not even really interested in adding more to this card. I guess this one is sort of free. And it's Vigilance, I might as well, but like that one doesn't matter too much. But I don't want to put the Candle Vigil on it. Yep. It's got first strike, so I'm not losing it. Okay, sure. This can escape a bunch. So my opponent's doing a good job at stopping me from hitting them. I like my opponent's deck. Alright, well, until it matters, I'm just going to keep swinging. Sure, yep. Oh, I see. The spider actually escapes their commander back into the command zone. That's pretty neat. Because it gets exiled and changes zones. Cool. Well, if they had a removal spell, I'm sure they would have forced it before I went and attacked their face. Yep, makes sense. Also surprised they didn't just simply cast this. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe a land is more important instead of like a 6/5 chump blocker. But that's not necessarily true, because that's 5 in toughness. Maybe you can get through with a Death Touch or something. To block, that is. It's not reliable at all, because my hand looks like this, but opponent has made their choice. Return target creature benefits short. Phyrexian Rager. Interesting. I like my opponent's deck. It's pretty cool. There's no reason to play this other than giving something lifelink, right? So I guess I'll put it on the Bone Splitter, because it's functionally the same as my commander, and I just want to draw. And now the Bone Splitter will never go away, and I'll have lifelink that doesn't matter, because Killian already has lifelink. I'm at 50 life. There's edicts. Shieldred's Edict is in the game, and I only have 1 creature. If I ever hit them, I do get a 1/1. Little layer protection against edicts. My opponent just plays Casualties of War somehow. It just comes out of nowhere. Eaten alive. Alright, no. Oh! It doesn't even work! It doesn't work! It's indestructible! They cast an Exile. Exile target creature planeswalker, and I cast Indestructible. I would have lost Killian and my Sheltering Light. It wouldn't have done anything. But my opponent scooped before they read it. Oh no! Oh no, that is funny. They actually had an answer. They had an exile answer, and I had nothing to do against it. That's really funny. Now, in all fairness, I'm just getting my commander back for 4 mana, putting the things on it and whatnot, and this is on the top of my deck. My opponent is not out of this, right? The Bone Splitter, how can I... The Bone Splitter is just still there, and the Sentinel's Eyes is still in my graveyard, so, like, this is a completely fine position to be in still, right? My opponent's not showing me any way to permanently deal with this, so... But that is really funny. That is funny. Opponent had it, and they dropped it. But so did I. I just burned the protection spell so quickly that I guess my opponent thought it worked. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Alright. I think I'm like 5-0. How many games we played? 6? 5? I don't know. Haven't lost yet. Alright, another red deck. Third spell each turn, put a counter on this. That is a lot of spells. That is a lot. That's a lot. Alright, that's fine. I'm going to keep a hand like this because I anticipate a lot of removal. And I think it makes sense to maybe respect that. Some kind of weird storm strategy here. Discard a card, draw 2, sure. Gets rid of Relic. I like what I'm seeing here. This is pretty neat. I'll actually take time to just cast this. It could be difficult for my opponent to do anything about a large Killian. Actually, it could be extremely difficult for them to do anything about it. You got it. Alright, I will take the turn. I'm going to tap out off of Shelter to put Siegecraft here. I think it's just so difficult for my opponent to stop this that, like, I'm just going to run it in. Especially with the Selfless Savior. I think it's fine to take myself off of Shelter. It's probably safer to play Shelter, or the Siegecraft, than it is to play Shelter. Because 6 toughness is just stupid against mono red. So they need to cast 3 spells, and then this will do 4 damage. Third counters and deals damage. Yeah, it'll do 4 damage. Okay. Which is not enough to do anything. Okay, I'm still going to put it here because they could have like a shock or something. Or another burn spell that would be 2 plus 4. They do not. Alright. Did my opponent just not throw that to the Pilgrim? Discard a card, create 1/1s. Okay. Let's not let that be a thing. And then I guess I'll give my commander vigilance. Again, more toughness just means it's getting more and more difficult to actually do anything about this. But they do have 5 damage on a 3rd spell. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Brave the elements. Ooh. Alright. Well, now I don't even know what my opponent can possibly do to get out of this. I mean, I didn't have to not cast this. I could have just cast it, but I don't even think it matters. I mean, now I'm surprised killing them next turn, whereas that maybe they would have chosen to block and now they didn't. Right? Like now I have a surprise kill, which could change how they play this turn. Like if they had to keep themselves alive next turn, they might play differently, whereas now they think they can block, right? That is the 2nd spell. This will be the 3rd, so they'll send 5. Sure, but 5 is not enough to do anything. Or at least I think it was 5. What is it? It said 4 on the number, but I think it's 5 anyways. Does Killian on your Brawl until... I have no idea what that means. Alright, well, my opponent's doomed. Yep, it's super difficult for red decks to beat it once you get too much toughness. And again, we have a bunch of protection spells, which makes this even more difficult to like do anything. But this is a pretty cool deck. I like the 3 spells a turn thing. It's cool that they did it twice. But now, as we can see, they're almost out of gas at this point. But maybe that's fine, because this dealt 4 and 5, which is pretty significant. I like this. That's pretty neat. But yeah, it's just too much. Killian's just too big. Does she Killian on your Brawl until you ink? I don't know. Are you spitting bars? I don't know. I don't know what's happening. You have me at a disadvantage. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I forgot to look. I want to see how many games I won. Oh, nice. I actually like this. I like this commander a lot. This commander's pretty cool. Ooh, this could be a rough one, especially on the draw. But oh well. I'm overdue for a loss, anyways. Let's play this. I guess next turn I play the Geist. I guess. What does this do? Whenever you draw, blah, 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 just lose, blah. Okay. It's just slightly harder to kill my opponent. But it's just Esper things. I'm kind of hoping it's more on the creature side, but who really knows? Let's play you. If it dies, I get an opportunity to find myself another aura as well. Excellent. No black mana. Okay. Probably not relevant yet. I could just fire up everything on the Geist and say screw it. Like, not even put it on Killian. Like this pledge and stuff, right? But maybe that is wrong. Maybe I really should. This is a tough one. They're both pretty hard to block, but you know what? I'm going to just run this out and see what happens. So we're going to sling with this. And I'm just going to pass. Because I'm not going to remove my ability to keep my stuff dummy safe. Is this protection? This is protection. Okay. Sure. So protection from white? I guess I do it pre-con... No, wait, no I don't. I mean, impress me. What do you have? Send it. Nothing. Okay, so I just sort of 2-for-1'd them. Interesting. They are forcing the Al-Sayed off the board with that, though, so I guess it does make sense. You just don't have a choice to do whatever it is you need to do. Okay. If I play this, I'm not playing this, but that probably doesn't matter. So I play this and this. Like that. This does mean I'm not swinging with the Death Toucher. I mean the Double Striker, but that's fine. Okay, I'm a bit vulnerable here. Actually, I'm quite vulnerable. No black mana still, though. No black mana. Recruitment Officer makes me feel real good about my situation. Alright, spend all your mana to do stuff with it, please. Okay, they want to keep it around to spam it more than once, I guess. So let's put 2 counters on this or this. I guess Killian's big enough as is. Let's just start to force them to chump block. And I guess I'll do this here? I can't. I don't have the mana. I'm just not interested in killing their commander is the thing. I'm just going to put it here. I'm just going to put it here. Oh, I didn't mean to swing with the Eidolon. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. If they don't block the 6 from the Geist, that's probably just totally fine to me. That's just so much damage, yeah. But obviously I really did not want to swing with that. That was a absolutely massive mistake, but hopefully it doesn't come to punish me. Doesn't look like it will. I'm not even sure if my opponent had black mana, it would have mattered anyways. But they are dead in the air, so this game is over. Yeah, if they had the mana to cast their commander, I really don't think it would have changed how this game looked in any way. But yeah, I shouldn't have slung with that Eidolon, obviously. But yeah, it didn't matter. It did actually seem like a more creature-based Esper thing, so I'm probably a little bit more advantaged than 24 spells, like removal spells. But they didn't see black mana, so if they did have removal spells, I just guess I would have never seen them anyways. But nice. Yeah, Persistent Petitioner's too one-dimensional. Relentless Rats is kind of one-dimensional, and they restart when they all inevitably die, and the slimes don't. So I do like the slimes, and they're green. I like that. I think that gives them more of an advantage than the rats being black. Alright, this is probably a really bad matchup, but I guess this is as good as I can ask for. There's been a lot of very, very early plays, I've noticed. A lot of people have one-drops, too. Yeah, I built the first video. Was it the first video? Yeah, it was the very first Murders of Karlov Manor deck I made, was that. Alright, so I guess I'm going to take this time to just stop their commander, because I'm not casting my commander. So just do this. Doubling season, yeah. Yeah, I think I had all the token doublers. It was a terrible experience. It was like really, 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 really terrible, but alright, so they have an answer to this enchantment, and they're willing to send it here, I guess. Don't hate that. I'd much prefer them to do it now and then, like, this doesn't really do anything. You just got your commander a turn earlier and you wasted a removal spell where you could have just cast this later. Unless you found it to be extremely relevant to cast it right now. So let's do this and pass. Like now, Mortify is not in my opponent's hand, and Killian is, and all of that is because they chose to have this in play a turn earlier. Which I do not in any way agree with. Codal the Frontman? Cody? I don't know Cody. Oh, the book. Yeah, the book. Oh yeah, I bet there's some really cool ways to do it, for sure. I don't doubt that at all. So, I don't have flying, and I'm going to probably need it. So let us go look for some flying. Which one's better, this or this? Probably the size. Probably the size. And then we don't have an attack, but I do have a protection spell, right? Yeah, this costs 1. Right? It's freaking me out. This does cost 1, I believe. It's not showing it, but yeah, okay, there it goes. Cody, I think, is forced in the tier 1 bracket, though. And if you're playing against tier 1, then you're kind of screwed. Because you're going to play against, like, Golos and stuff, and you're screwed. Beginning of your end step, if each opponent lost life, they lose double. Alright, I lose double life. Later. But what does it do right now? Top card, put one in your hand, sure. Opponent mills over some random thing that I've never seen before, and writes. You got it. Alright, I needed an untapped white source to play this, otherwise I couldn't, because I wouldn't have protection. And I believe that's all I'm sending. Yep, that's all I can send. Alright, opponent, what shall you do? I might even want some flying equipment to always have flying, especially against things like Ellis, Ilkor, and Finn. But so far I haven't lost to either, so I don't know how true that is. I don't know. Signet, don't care. It namely auto-tap the white mana, which is interesting. Something to take note of. Yep. It's going to be a lot of beats, because they gain a lot of life, but that's probably fine. Yep. No blocky walkies. I'll take my medicine. And I guess I'm feeling confident to put more here, so let's do that. I could even put more as well, but maybe I shouldn't. Maybe this is just fine. Do I want to put more? Like, I kind of want to, but, like, I also don't want to have nothing on a second Killian. So, maybe I shouldn't. But again, like, if they do deal with this, I am kind of screwed anyways. If I have to name protection from white, you got to keep in mind my auras fall off. So I really need the removal spell if they have one to be black. It's really important that it's black. Okay, that doesn't matter. You just gain some life. This will be it. Put us down to their last card. Love to see it. Alright. Your opponents can't gain life? That is so toxic. That is actually mind-numbingly toxic. That is redonkalonk. Sure. I'm not gonna... I can't, like, spend my removal or protection just to stop an attacker. Alright, I can't gain life. Ethereal Armor was just the best thing ever. I think I'm just all in at this point. I just have to kill my opponent. They are in top deck mode. The longer this goes, the worse it is for me. So, also, this has first strike. I should have read that. So now they actually cannot swing at me at all. And this is a 2-turn clock. I didn't have to put the armor on it. Probably could have held it for later, but you know what? It's too late. Alright, opponent. Literally do not top deck a white removal spell, and I win this game. No white removal spell. Specifically white removal spell. Alright, they found a flyer. That actually works. That is not a white removal spell, but it stops me from killing them. So they basically get a redraw. I have never used a Campus Scry yet. It's just like... Can't even remember the last... Oh, wait. Whoa! What are you doing? What are you doing? Is there something I don't understand? What's happening? Okay, well now I can... I don't know what's going on. Okay, maybe they're just conceding. I lose some life here, but who cares? Like, I don't... They could have used the protection from black or white on this to block with it twice. Now they cannot do that. Like, they could have given this protection from black and blocked with it again. Okay, my opponent was just done. Alright, fair enough. I guess my opponent was just done. But let's be real, there are outs. There are absolutely, you can top deck an out. I don't know what that out looks like. Maybe my opponent doesn't have any. Right? There's a absolute, like... No, they do, though. Like, they do. They have removal. They could have found something. If you found a white removal spell, I was back to square one, my friend. But, they didn't make them... They didn't make themselves find it. And, they could have bought 2 turns by giving this protection from black or white with the Alseid, which is 2 draws, right? They just didn't give themselves the outs. So, alright. Nice. I could go unblocked? How? Oh, protection from black? And then they can't block? Was the angel both black and white? Okay, if the angel was both black and white, you're right. Yeah. Alright, never mind. Now, wait, my opponent didn't know about it, though, right? My opponent did not know about the protection spell in my hand. So they did not give themselves the out regardless. But you are right. You are correct. I had it anyways. Assuming my opponent didn't draw something that left me kind of concerned about going all in, but not very likely. So yeah, we had it there. Let's see. What does this do? It has cards with text. I'm going to keep it. Oh, it's the special Balmor. Wait, Balmor's a bird? No way. I didn't know that. I thought Balmor was a human wizard. Balmor's a straight-up bird. That is funny. I would have never noticed on the normal art. Well, maybe I will now. But... Okay, this turn is nothing, so nothing it shall be. This matchup is pretty good because I do have a lot of, like, ooh, oof. Oh, they whiffed on the auger. Oof. Giga oof. I do not have another land. So I cannot ever keep up 2 protection spells, which is something I would really like to do right now. But alas, we can't have it all. My opponent appears to have a red spell, and they didn't cast it there. Alright, they're casting their red spell now. Adorable. Oh, it's that. It doesn't actually kill my thing, so it makes sense. This just isn't enough, right? Like, the lifelink is just too high on Killian for me to really be concerned with what's going on. Also, the rune shouldn't go on Killian. He's already got lifelink, and I'd prefer the rune to be around forever for ethereal armor, so I want to enchant a land. However, given the situation of this exact turn, I might actually put it here just because I want to leave up 2 protection spells. Just the specific, how this, yeah, this just makes sense to me. This is just such a difficult matchup, and I can play super safe. I have all the time in the world. I can just play ridiculously safe. My opponent needs to send so much damage to kill me here. What they call in the industry, dummy damage. I guess I could have just killed Balmor, but there's no way of knowing what it was going to do or not. Alright, let's put this here. Play land and swing. Sure. A whole turn of just playing Balmor is probably really good for me. Griffspoon, also really, really, really good. This is +1, so I can't put this on it. I can't swing with the 1/1. I mean. But yeah, so we can just see how, like, you harassing my life total with a bunch of prowess triggers doesn't do anything. It's just not enough. They need, like, 5 blue bounce spells at this point. Which they could have, right? Bounce spells are a problem. I can't really do much about them. The blue bounce is a concern, but there's not many people playing bounce spells because they're not really that great, like unsummon. And even if you do have them, they're not really doing much to... You have to draw them, I mean. Built to smash, or... Well, there's no way on Earth they deal 30. It's just not possible. And that's game. There's just nothing they can do. Yep, as we saw, like, it's just too much lifelink. I can just kind of ignore what they're doing, and none of their burn can actually kill this if they have any. They have a bunch of pump spells, but honestly, I probably didn't even have to kill Balmor that 1 turn cycle, and probably would have been fine as well. Yeah, just too much. Just too much life gain. Can't do it. Nothing they can do. When a creature you control explores a land, you may put the land into play. Or any land. Whenever it explores a non-land, you put a counter on this. Okay, sure. That's adorable. No white mana, but man, this hand would have been nice. Oh well. No black mana, but man, this hand would have been nice. Oh well. Okay, let's get rid of... Untap land? Tap into... No, I think this hand actually wants to do this. I think we're going to turn 2. This is blue-green. I'm not too concerned about turn 2ing my commander. Or it dying on turn 2. I don't leave anything up. I don't really have anything to leave up anyways. This must be white, right? Yeah, this has to be white. The guy that says legendary humans are indestructible, that is an extremely specific amount of creatures. I think I know what you're talking about. That is it black white? That general or whatever? I don't know. Yeah, okay. What does this do? Is this literally just the best card in their deck? Okay. That's insane. You get a 3-time boon of triple explore. That's hilarious. And quite literally probably the best card in their deck. That's so good that I mean, Alright, so now problems are arising. As we can see here. I guess I just play this. I guess. Wonder if it even matters. Oh, come on. Maybe I want to kill one of these. Maybe I do want to kill one of these. Yeah, I'm just gonna swing and probably leave up a removal spell. I think that's just better. Sure. Okay. Okay. It was about to go away, wasn't it? This didn't even change anything. First strike, flying, lifelink, that didn't even change the amount of damage they were taking. That was actually a strange decision, in my opinion. Alright. Let's kill their commander. I can surprise Heartless Axe Scam. It can remove counters as I go to block, which might end up mattering. Okay, just more of that. Yeah, I think we're just doing removal things instead of anything else. So let's just go ahead and do that. Return it to its owner's hand. Create a map token, sure. Alright, so they unsummoned my commander, it lost some counters, so be it. Opponent does not use the map token. Okay. I guess I cast this one because they can't get rid of it if something happens to Killian. Yeah, that card, this is probably the best card in their entire deck. That is absolutely insane, but guess we're on the other side of it now. Excuse me. Oh, great. More really good answers. Okay, and then I Rite of Oblivion my card to get rid of Sneak. And this way, I guess I'm not immediately dead, right? Okay, we're back at the literal last possible second. Appreciate it. So we go to 3. They notably didn't cast Trickster on my turn, which I think favors me. Quite significantly, actually. Should I go to 2 or just block now? I think I should block right now. Maybe not. Maybe it'll be more prudent to not block because it's not lethal. I'm just going to go ahead and not block. They didn't put a counter on it pre-combat. Oh, opponent, what are you doing? Jeez. Okay, so let's play double white and leave up Heartless Act. So this and this. I can tap something right now, but I'd rather just do this and swing. We go back up to 9. Opponent goes down to 1. Oh, I could have killed them? No. I'd need another white source. I would need another white source. Okay. So with Heartless Act, I can remove counters or kill something without counters on it. Desperation draw. Love it. They played a land pre this, and it wasn't an island, so they probably didn't want to play their land first. That didn't make a lot of sense. What'd they discard? Growth Spiral and land. Okay. Explore nonsense. Sure, I will do nothing. Just let that be a thing. It's fine. So they don't have any attacks anymore, and they're tapped out. So we get to attack again. Sure. I kind of want to kill the Trickster so it doesn't happen again, but I also maybe don't care. But we're going to send this anyways. We're just always sending this on something. Let's just kill whatever. At this point, I've pulled ahead. I have certainly pulled ahead. So I can kill them with Rite of Oblivion sacking this and tapping something with this, right? So I play this. I tap that. And then Rite of Oblivion kills this. I'm going to kill their non-commander because my opponent's taking 10,000 years. And this will cause them to think. It'll hold priority of a decision to be made. And that doesn't. Nice. We did it. That was a super close game. Super close game. I like that one. It was very back and forth. This is probably by far the best card in their deck. This is absolutely insane. There are not too many ways to explore, especially in just like commons and uncommons. Not a lot of ways to explore. So literally having 3 explores at the start of the game is completely disgusting. But even still, it wasn't enough. So really nice. And yeah, our opponent threw a temper tantrum, I guess. Started roping me out at the end. Or, I don't know, maybe the pizza guy showed up. My hands were actually so large that when I was in the Navy, they couldn't give me... Like, their finger palm reader wouldn't work on my finger because my hands were too big. It was hilarious. It was like, they've never seen this before. I'm like, yeah, neither have I. What are we up against? Mono red, so we don't care. What does this do? Do we care? It's the red one. Blah, 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 blah. Discard, blah, 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 blah. Alright, opponent has a burn spell. What a surprise. Guess what I'm not casting? Tokens? Spicy. Alright, play the white land. Because if we don't, we lose. Okay. Sure. No blocks. More tokens, you got it. Alright. Well, at this point I think it's free to attempt this card, because again I have Brave the Elements. Alright, so Shock is out of the question. I don't believe casting Radiant Grace is what I'm interested in doing. Or maybe I am, I don't know. Well, it's too late now, but let's play... Oh, jeez. Alright, pass. Do nothing. More tokens. Alright, this is kind of cool. It's like 8 whack vibes. Maybe the block was free that last... Okay, they didn't block with their... What? Let us put this here. What does this do? Oh, I have to actually read that. Okay, it doesn't actually change anything. Let's swing... I guess my opponent's holding out that I can't swing, and they're kind of right. The tokens are pretty good. I don't know, I'm just swinging. I'm swinging because I can just kill all their tokens and then let it be a thing. Alright, so they didn't block. A wise decision. Sure. They got 2 things they can't cast. Do you have a land? You do. Alright, they can now cast them. So this is goblins, I guess. What does this do? Draw a hand, blah, blah, blah. Discard a hand, draw 2, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna just send... I'm gonna send a block now. Dueling Rapier. Adorable. Alright. Opponent didn't want to play against the first protection spell. Fair enough. So, I guess it wasn't Shock, it was just the Rapier the whole time, and they were trying to get me to block, but obviously it's just not going to work. Okay, so this strategy was absolutely insane. I only lost a single game, and it was against the green-white Ajani's Pridemate chick that puts a counter every time you gain life. It was the only thing, and I don't say the only reason I lost it, but they played Ajani's Pridemate, and then the other 2. So they had all of their commanders in play at the same time. Like it's the same text as their commander. They literally played all of them, and I died because they had a bunch of things that got counters when whenever they gained life. I could probably have beaten the first one though, but infinite was too much. But other than that, I didn't lose. I just didn't lose. I won every single game across every single strategy. I beat Emoti. I beat any sort of red burn-based strategy. I beat every kind of creature-based strategy, like mid-range. I beat any aggro deck. There was a couple control decks, I think 2. Like I did get hit by cancel once. I got canceled, and I still won those pretty easily. So this is just really, really good. Oh, I also beat Finn, the mono green Death Touch. I also beat Finn. So this is just really, really, really good. This is probably so good as is. I don't even like this. I can't discount it because it doesn't target this. Like, this card felt like the weakest thing, and actually, for the most part, was pretty difficult to cast. It is nice that it can bin your Griff Spoon, or your other one that does the thing with stuff. Sentinel's Eyes. Like, that's pretty nice. But you don't really need to do that, right? This could just be an equipment that gives flying, and then you're just not really looking for anything, because it itself is what you're just sort of looking for. So I actually didn't like that. Everything that was expensive to enchant just was awesome, because it's discounted. If it wasn't, I wouldn't play any of this up here. But the fact that it discounts by 2 is just so massive. Some games, if you play a lot, like we played a lot of games just now, I think like 20 or something. Oh no, we won every single game, and I finished the daily, so I played 15 or 16 games because I lost against the green-white one. When you start to notice when you can and can't play this on turn 2, because sometimes it's safe, like, oh, they're green and white, I can play it on turn 2. Oh, they're blue and red, I cannot, because I need a protection spell. Um, if you get locked under a bunch of burn, and then you have to keep casting this on curve, you're gonna lose, right? If they just keep casting burn spells on this and you at no point left up a protection spell, whereas you otherwise would just completely win instantly against mono red, or even something like Balmor. So that's just nice. People try to put counters on their creatures, but your creature just winds up being so big it doesn't matter. You usually wind up having the largest creature, um, which is really good. All the removal was fine. I do kind of wish I had maybe another equipment. I don't know which one. Bone Splitter is really the best one. It's hard to think of any other. Giving this flying is decent, so maybe some sort of flying equipment is something you can think about. Protection spells, if you are attacked by a white card, are problematic because giving yourself protection from white means all of your auras fall off. Now again, I played 16 games. None of those games it would have mattered. None of them. There was no white removal spell where I would have lost everything had they cast it. Now, I'm sure there's probably more than what I bumped into on average, but just take that for what you will. 16 games, never saw any. Vigilance is nice. The fact that this already has Menace is nice. That means they can't just block it with a single large creature. I just really like that. And it's got lifelink, which is also insane. You can feel better about swinging before this would get Vigilance or something, because then you're just never really going to die. What else? There was another card in here. This one is weird. I added this card initially because I didn't realize Killian had lifelink. I was more fixated on the discount part of this. So I don't know how I feel about this card. It is a permanent +2/+2 that your opponent cannot remove, like if they try to naturalize or whatever. So in that regard, it's basically the same as Bonds of Faith, or the other one that gives +2/+2, Knight's Pledge. It is basically the same thing, right? Except it's just harder to deal with. So maybe it just makes sense to keep it in there. That's about it. This strategy was extremely cracked. Probably the best strategy. I think I would make the argument this might be the best strategy, just given what I did. Everyone that wasn't playing one of like the 10 best ones did not stand a chance. And everything that was kind of in the quote-unquote top 10 in this format. Now, the format is done. You can't play it anymore. We played this deck to the end. It feels like the best commanders still struggle severely against this. Like, I didn't really concern. Like, Finn felt kind of fine. Balmor was fine. The green-white one that did beat me, again, if they didn't draw all of their Ajani's Pride mates, like literally all 4 or 5 or whatever, in sequential order, I probably would have been fine, right? They just went wide and tall. Usually just does one of those. So I think that matchup, I'd make the argument, is probably pretty good. And again, we do have a bunch of removal spells for that matchup as well. So yeah, all red decks struggle. All Voltron decks against you, you're probably the tallest. So you're taller than all the other ones that try to go tall. So those are good. The white decks are just basically creature decks, not even that much removal. The black-white decks can be a bit sketchy because they might have a bunch of removal, but a lot of it is black, so your indestructible cards come into play, not just like exiles from white. Oh yeah, you're right. I did get hit by a destroy attacking creature from a white spell. I actually did get hit by one of those, and that was the Thassa, the green-white matchup. That's where I scooped, I believe. I scooped once. I'm like, all right, I'll just swing, and then they cast that. I don't think it mattered because I was dead anyways to all the Ajani's Pride mates. But yeah, there was actually a game where I was targeted by a white spell. The mana, like, if you don't have both black and white in your opening hand, I highly recommend you mulligan for it. I never, ever, ever kept a hand that didn't have both colors in it. Ever. Even if it's 2 lands and both of them come in tapped, fine. Like, I think I can take a turn off. This, once it gets going, is kind of crazy. So that's something to take note of. I mulliganed to 6 almost exclusively on the back of my making sure having both colors way before the rest of the hand, just because that is obviously so important. I can't keep a hand with like 4 planes. You need a black source. You must have a black source and a white source. So that's probably the only mulligan thing I would advise. I don't even know why I took out the tutor. If I post this list, you can't play the format. It doesn't matter updating the list. It's too late. I don't know why I took out the tutor. But I'll find something else to just throw in here and upload it regardless. But yeah, this deck as a whole was just really, really good. I had no qualms with it. Everything I was doing was fine. I never felt like I needed other creatures. I did have this in here, mainly kind of assuming it would die, but there was a game where I did have it in play and it swung as a 3/3 over and over. But for the most part, I didn't really care about having additional creatures. I didn't even bump into any edicts. I didn't see Shieldred Edict a single time, and I also didn't see Chainer's Edict a single time. Just never saw these cards. You could make the argument these are not really great because there are a lot of decks playing a lot of creatures, so it's like giving your opponent the choice of where your removal spell goes isn't great, but obviously against Killian it's really good because the protection spells don't do anything against edicts, and I'm not playing more than one creature a lot of the time, right? There's some things that make tokens, but for the most part, not really. But again, just something I didn't really bump into. So if this format was around a lot, or rather permanently, I think we would see a more established lists in, like, you know, more of a meta coming to form, but it's just not around enough, like, to queue into randoms. I think you can play with your friends, but you can't queue into randoms with it, which is kind of unfortunate. But if this was more fleshed out, I think people would actually be more prepared for Killian. So, but the fact that you don't have the time, right? People are like, oh, I just play one, get the wins and them out. There's just nothing you can do. So, I like this. I would recommend this before anything if you wanted to win a bunch. Just play this, right? This was really, really good. And it's funny because the one time I played against it, I actually beat it because I had 47 removal spells as like blue-black nonsense. But yeah, that's it. Before I start talking in circles, let me know what you thought about this list. Let me know your experience in this format. If you would like to see me play more of this, well, you got to yell at wizards because I can't. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.